All right, Greg, we're ready for the 6th-seeded Missouri Tigers and the 3rd-seeded Marquette Golden Eagles. Second game of the day. We shift to the Midwest. And the winner of this game takes on the winner of Indiana-Pittsburgh in Minneapolis. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson along with my partner, Lynn Elmore. Both these teams received scares in their first-round matchups. For Missouri, they won 72-71 over Southern Illinois. They struggled turning the ball over, but when they needed a big basket, they went to the big man.
Well, they used some inside muscle, and that muscle was personified by Big Arthur Johnson. He was the power behind the inside game. Quick moves, quick feet, complemented his size in the paint. And he was the guy that they went to when they needed a basket, and he delivered.
Marquette defeated Holy Cross 72-68. Their All-America player, Dwayne Wade, struggled in the first half, finished with 15, but Travis Diener, shin splints and all, a career-high 29.
Well, we talk about it time and time again. Extraordinary circumstances bring out extraordinary performances. Travis Diener in a tight game, time after time, found a way to get open, and his teammates found him. He was just shooting the ball in the ocean and couldn't miss.
Now let's go to the 3rd member of our team on the sideline, Solomon Wilcox.
Well, guys, Ken Snyder told me that his team was very nervous in that first-round game when they committed 23 turnovers. So he had an idea in his pregame speech to loosen his team up. He passed around a rock, and he called it the Eye of the Tiger. Then he broke out and started singing his own rendition of the song. The players broke out in laughter. He did it with one thing in mind, to loosen his team up. He also has that rock in his pocket at this very moment.
All right, Solomon, what a great story. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. Trayvon Bryant, Art Johnson, and Clemens with McKinney and Paulding in the backcourt. Merritt, Townsend, Jackson for the Golden Eagles with Diener and Dwayne Wade in the backcourt. Quinn Snyder, the longtime Duke assistant, he played at Duke, and he's in his 4th season, and it's all been good for the Johnny Depp look-alike, as you called him the other day.
Yeah, he and Johnny Depp haven't been in the same place at the same time.
On the other sideline, Tom Green, longtime assistant at Michigan State. Also, he coached at Western Kentucky and Pittsburgh, and he has the Golden Eagles rolling 24-5 on the year. Bob Donato, John Hughes, Tom Lopes are your officials. Mizzou taking on Marquette. What should we pay attention to early on in this game?
Well, obviously the matchup is going to be down low. 6'10" senior from Marquette, Robert Jackson, only 4 points and 5 rebounds. On Thursday, he's going to look to get a strong start, and he's going to be matched up against Arthur Johnson, he and Scott Merritt, and also against Trayvon Bryant. Big and burly inside, Missouri presents a major challenge for Marquette in the paint.
Here's Ricky Paulding, takes his first shot and hits. Different story at the beginning of this game as opposed to on Thursday when Paulding went 1 for 6 from the field in the first half. He finished with 19, came on strong in the second half. And I asked him before the game, did he have some problems with his eyesight adjusting here in the dome as Merritt puts it up and it's rebounded by Johnson. He said, no, Gus, I didn't have problems. I was nervous.
Well, you can always tell the nervousness. You start shooting air balls, shoot a couple of them. I still believe, though, it's difficult for some guys, particularly from the corner, and that's what characterized the misses. They were all from the corner, and he missed badly. But he made the adjustment, started hitting when he adjusted, and went in front of the rim.
Arthur Johnson forcing up the shot. Robert Jackson with the rebound. Now Diener in transition, takes a 3. Takes a high bounce. Who wants it? Merritt. Power dribble, jump hook. Got it.
Well, that's another young man who wants to get off to a good start. Only 2 for 10 on Thursday versus Holy Cross. Merritt is really nifty around the hoop. Long, lean, gets the job done.
He goes 6'10", 245. A junior. Now Trayvon Bryant dumps it down. Nice play, jammed down by Art Johnson.
And it makes your day awfully long when the big fellas are playing together.
And they're trying to establish Johnson early on in this one. Jackson backing his way in. That one blocked from behind by Johnson, the all-time leader in blocked shots at Missouri.
Well, that was a strong move by Johnson. You know he wants to get off nicely.
McKinney off the mark. Now Diener. Wade. Merritt on the wheel. Scott Merritt.
Well, Scott Merrick, we talked about him being nifty with the ball, good ball handler. He's starting to take Johnson outside, and he may be too quick for Arthur Johnson.
Johnson. Extra pass, Paulding wide open. Long rebound, tapped by Johnson to Clemens from 20. Travis Diener. And it will be interesting to see how Diener responds to a team playing man-to-man with those bad shins. Turns it over, 2-on-1. McKinney has Clemens with him. Goes to the basket and lays it up and in.
Good decision by Jimmy McKinney. On Thursday, had a difficult time. Had 7 turnovers. They're playing with confidence right now.
Dwayne Wade. Jackson, he transferred from Mississippi State. Wade for 3. And the weak side rebound goes to Johnson. Great bounce pass in the front court. Paulding to the basket and a reach-in foul on Diener.
Rarely do you see an outlet pass bounced out. But Arthur Johnson playing with such confidence. Take a look at him right now, and then on the outlet pass, just a bounce pass, jumps right by Dwayne Wade. And that's what gets this fast break started. Diener has to come over and foul, but the fast break, the perfect ones, the ones that are successful, begin with the outlet pass.
Is that a Wes Unseld outlet pass?
Wes Unseld was the two-hand overhead, and he would rifle at the half court. Take a look at Ricky Paulding. Again, tremendous game versus Southern Illinois. And as you mentioned, Gus, it was the second half when he really got started. He was 6 for 6 in the second half from the field.
Came up with some timely baskets for the Missouri Tigers.
I guess he wasn't nervous in the second half.
No, he wasn't. He wanted to win. Now Diener. Missouri playing man-to-man. Against Holy Cross, Diener got a lot of open looks. And around to his 29 points, way down the lane. Nicely done.
But I like the way Diener took Clemens off the dribble, got all the way into the paint. Clemens playing Diener for the jump shot. Diener turning the tables and putting it on the floor.
And Wade comes up with the steal. Here comes Marquette. Townsend chasing it down. Was it tipped? Yes, it was. We'll stay right here.
Again, Wade's basket was made by the Diener penetration. Look at him take his man into the paint. The defense contracts, and Wade's right behind him.
Dwayne Wade did not score in the first half on Thursday versus Holy Cross. Now Diener creating space. Merritt. Diener fires and hits. Travis Diener. 15:45 to go in the first half. Marquette by a point. Von Bryant facing up. A left-handed jump shot off the mark.
You'd like to see Bryant put that ball on the floor, get a little closer to the basket.
Inside. No good for Jackson. Got the tip, and it counts.
And that's got to make Robert Jackson feel a lot better about his offensive game. Again, difficulty last game. This game, going to the basket with a vengeance.
Clemens for 3.
Wow, that's
not a good shot.
What happened to the inside game for Missouri? You got Johnson, you got Bryant. Missouri's still looking for these perimeter shots when they have to establish the inside game.
Marquette on a 7-0 run. Missouri leads the all-time series 4-3. And 4 of the 7 games in the series have been decided by 4 points or less. A foul. Jackson got in deep.
Boy, I can't say enough about Diener. His penetration capability. Again, he gets the ball, freezes his defender, and blows right by him. I guess those guys were watching the game the other night and saw him 5 for 9 from 3-point range and figured that's what we got to do. But I tell you what, he is really playing the game strategically and doing a nice job at it.
Some compare Travis Diener to Mark Price, who is an All-America at Georgia Tech. Maybe not as strong as Price, but definitely with a beautiful jump shot, similar to Mark Price.
See, I'm not so sure about that. I know some people have done that, but Travis Diener is Travis Diener. He's a guy, again, he's not as nifty with the ball, but he finds a way to get there. And as you mentioned, not as strong as Mark Price.
14:50 to go in the first half. Marquette on a 9-0 run. .29 to go in the first half. Marquette leads 13-8. The Golden Eagles of Marquette are on a 9-0 run. And Gus Johnson along with Len Elmore. What have you seen thus far?
Well, what we've seen is Marquette able to compete on the boards. They lead by a +3. And we've seen Missouri negating their own inside height advantage by taking quick shots on the perimeter and really forgetting about those guys. Right now, Johnson gets the ball inside, but look how far out he's been put.
Ricky Clemens 0 for 4. Nice pass inside to Young. Lowers his shoulder and lays it in.
But that's what Missouri has to do. They've got to focus on a way to establish their inside guys. Once you do that, the inside-out combination makes those jump shots from the perimeter a lot easier to find.
Kevin Young, a freshman from Kingston, Jamaica. 3-point lead for the Golden Eagles. Out of Conference USA. Wade traveling. Follow every player from each game of the NCAA tournament in the Game Center, along with updated scoreboards at CBSSportsline.com or on America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline. Here come the Tigers. Jimmy McKinney, a freshman from St. Louis, went to Vashon High School, where he won 3 state championships. Along with Kroenke, Bryant, Young, and Paulding. Novak in for Marquette. Here's Kroenke with a good look. Off the heel of the rim. Paulding with the rebound. Tapped around, finally claimed by McKinney. A new shot clock for Mizzou. Kroenke has it batted away. Jackson getting one of those big arms in the passing lane.
Well, Marquette is playing what appears to be a matchup zone, and maybe that's why Missouri is launching the quick perimeter shots, thinking they're playing against the zone, when in effect in a matchup you want to play it as man-to-man. Missouri now 1 for 8 from 3-point range, and those misses could be opportunities they can save for the guys down low as they continue to work it.
They shoot 35% from the 3-point line on the season. 10 to shoot.
Now this is a straight zone right here, not much of a matchup. Very aggressive though to step out in the doubles.
Bryant fires up a brick, and that's a shot clock violation. Missouri looking a little confused with the zone. And we take a look at the tournament summary. The Big 12 5-1. The Big East perfect 5-0. Notre Dame advancing to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1987. 13-10.
Pretty much the same thing for Missouri, a 2-3 zone, kind of matching up, following guys into the paint, and then releasing.
Watch Kroenke, number 20. He's a 48% 3-point shooter, and that's why they want to get him in and get him the ball.
Well, Steve Novak, you mentioned it, 49% from 3.
Novak, excuse me.
2 for 3 from 3-point range in the first game Thursday, and you got to locate him.
Here's Kroenke, guarded by Novak. They reverse it. Paulding on the baseline, elevates, double pumps it in.
And that's a much better job of attacking that matchup, looking like a man-to-man. Put it on the floor, force guys to come to you.
Dwayne Wade, bounce pass inside, Merritt, foul. And when we came in today, I don't know if you paid attention to it. Knowing you probably did. Marquette was on the floor because they played the second game, so they had their shoot-around. And Tom Crean had his team working on that zone for about 25 minutes, and they were yelling and screaming, communicating with each other, trying to get their intensity level up as they prepared to face this Missouri squad.
Well, absolutely, it was to get their intensity level up. You know, guys sleep for a long time. They had a day off yesterday where they practiced. He wanted to get them energized and ready to go. And the way you do it, get them out of bed, get them out here, and get them to work.
There's Coach Crean. Very intense, a little more relaxed coming into this game than the first against Holy Cross.
And Tom even smiled at us.
Yes, he did. As Merritt hits the free throw. 11:38 to go. Marquette up 18-12. Marquette with 6 points off turnovers. And the Golden Eagles lead 18-12. Gus Johnson along with Len Elmore and Marquette doing a pretty good job, especially when they get Missouri in that zone.
Well, they have been switching. They've been doing a lot of things that's confusing Missouri. A lot of times when you're confused on offense, the first thought is to launch a jump shot because you're being invited to take that. If Missouri exercises a little more patience, move the ball, they might be able to find the big guys inside. If they're double, they can kick it back out for much easier long-range shooting. On the other side of it, though, Marquette, I like the way methodically they've been going after Missouri. And again, Diener's been the guy who's been putting it on the floor, penetrating, finding people, and just making Marquette very comfortable on the offensive end.
Marquette changing the defense, going to a man-to-man. Clemens in the quarter. Kroenke, catch and shoot and hit.
Well, they lost Kroenke. Kroenke hid in the corner, and nobody got even close to him, and that's what I mean by patience. Excellent possession right there by Missouri because of that patience.
Merritt the other way, and it's taken away by Missouri. Diener almost coming up with the steal. But Josh Kroenke scored his first career point in the NCAA tournament on Thursday with a three-pointer with 6:39 left in the first half.
And his teammates give him that congratulations. He's one of those guys that's a minutes eater. I mean, he's not going to go out there and dominate a game, but he'll play good defense. He might hit a shot or two for you, but he allows Quinn Snyder to rest guys like Paulding or Clemens or McKinney for a period of time and then come back in. And you don't lose anything with him in the game.
Here's Arthur Johnson. Great drop step on the baseline.
Again, good patience by Missouri. They're starting to find it now.
Diener the other way, lays it up and in with the offhand.
Man, that's a scrapper right there. I'd play with that kid anytime.
Travis Diener with 5 points, 2017. Now McKinney in the backcourt for Missouri. In the first game, they were reluctant to shoot. Clemens comes out stroking it, but he's 0 for 4 as Johnson throws it out of bounds, intended for Trayvon Bryant. Don't forget, be a part of the madness when Coca-Cola presents the Late Late Show with Craig Kilborn in New Orleans. It's a week of March Madness direct from the Big Easy, beginning March 31st right here on CBS, America's most watched network. 3-point lead for the Golden Eagles at Marquette. Here's Novak. Got to stay close to him. Knocked away out of bounds by Clemens. And the winner of this game plays the winner of Indiana-Pittsburgh in the Midwest. The regional will be played in Minneapolis. Indiana with a big game from Tom Coverdale yesterday as they defeated Alabama. Diener from way out. And Bryant saves it from going out of bounds. Now Arthur Johnson calling for it, guarded by Merritt, faces it, pops, fires, off the heel of the rim. Novak with the rebound. Here's Travis Diener on the wing. Jackson, he's bumped and fouled.
Well, Scott Merritt's doing a terrific job against Arthur Johnson right here. Look at the lane here, and look how far off Johnson is from that lane. And this makes it more difficult. Johnson would love to get in that paint with both feet and make his presence felt. But Merritt's doing a nice job of forcing him out farther, making that offense more difficult.
But if you're Arthur Johnson and you're being forced out, how do you establish that position that you want?
Well, you got to start lower. Maybe set a screen from somebody, reverse pivot, and get in that paint. But he keeps inching out, trying to receive because Merritt is denying him until he gets further off that lane, and then he's not as effective.
Marquette by 3. Townsend. Inside, Jackson rolls, rejected. Clemens on the break. Marquette gets back. Clemens baseline, wraps it around. Now Johnson. Triple team. Ricky Clemens for three. Count it.
And that's the inside-out combination Missouri has to exploit. If Johnson can set up down low, he can take the double and triple, kick it back outside, and his shooters like to step in and make them.
Inside, and a whistle, offensive foul.
Boy, Robert Jackson very frustrated. He's been surrounded. He's been hounded by Missouri. Instead of taking the double teams as his counterpart Johnson has done and look for people spotting up, he's just bulling his way to the basket.
Marquette, Missouri tied at 20 apiece. Clemens along with McKinney in the backcourt. Young, Paulding, and Arthur Johnson in the front court. A steal by Wade. Watch out. Bang. Dwayne Wade.
Well, that's not a surprise. Second in Conference USA in steals. Dwayne Wade, great anticipation.
And a reach-in foul coming up on Todd Townsend. 7:37 to go in the first half. Marquette by 2. If you think you've seen shock and awe, you haven't. There's a lot more to it, and the men who designed it are on a CBS News special, America at War, tonight, following the game. 7:37 remaining in the first half. Marquette with a 2-point lead. Here's McKinney with Clemens in the backcourt. Arthur Johnson being forced out on the baseline. Now backs down on Merritt. The jump hook, and Merritt is called for the foul.
Now Scott Merritt did everything correct, except that time bailed him out. You know, Arthur Johnson has had a little bit of success, but it's always when he's been in deep. There he gets some help from Trayvon Bryant, and then nice drop step that gets him into the paint. What Merritt's been able to do is push him out further so the drop step won't get Johnson into the paint. He's got to turn and face and try to put it on the floor and make something happen, which is not his strength.
Arthur Johnson. First round, his numbers 24 and 11. Perfect from the free throw line there. And if he does have a weakness, it is his free throw shooting. During the regular season, he was a 55% free throw shooter. But he's coming off his 18th double-double of the season. Game tied at 22. Wade dumps it down low. Jackson. Very nice job of creating space.
Very patient, too, by Robert Jackson. Didn't try to bull his way. Pump fake, head fake. Got the defenders off their feet.
Now Johnson on the baseline. Puts it up and in.
Now there he is again. Drop stepping into the paint. That time Merritt couldn't get him further off that lane.
8 points, 5 rebounds for Johnson. And Bradley strokes a three. Teron Bradley makes it a 27-24 game. Clemens trying to answer, and he's been way off. Ricky Clemens 0 for 5 from the field. Townsend too strong. Paulding with the rebound. Here comes Paulding. In and out dribble to the basket. Holy mackerel. Just couldn't lay it down.
And you see Jackson right there protecting the ball. You know, Paulding actually missed the guy wide open down the floor because he was weaving and didn't have his head up.
Jackson guided that one, and Arthur Johnson rips it down with one hand.
He shed Dwayne Wade like he was some lint on his jacket.
Here's Paulding. Arthur Johnson looking weak side. That one out of bounds. Kevin Young just couldn't hang on to the bullet.
Well, actually, it wasn't intended for Kevin Young. Intended for Ricky Clemens, who was setting up on the corner, the opposite corner for a three. You know, that's a tough pass for Arthur Johnson. But the thing is, if you're Quinn Snyder, at least he's looking.
Quinn Snyder needs Ricky Clemens to hit a few. He averages 15 points per game. Don't forget, the winner here takes on the winner of Indiana-Pittsburgh as Marquette throws it away. Fourth turnover for the Golden Eagles. Tom Crean not pleased with that one.
Well, I think Tom Crean also recognized that Scott Merritt is outweighed by Johnson. Been doing a lot of pushing. He figures he's tired now. He gets Terry Sanders back in. And Sanders is the one now charged with forcing Bryant further out.
A whistle and foul inside. Looks like it will be over the bag. Jeffrey Ferguson, a sophomore from Toronto, with the rebound, had great position. And Tom Crean trying to give some instruction.
Right, he's demonstrating how to block out. Got to make contact, got to get low, got to get into those thighs.
Paulding in the corner, way off the mark.
See, I don't care. That's not nervousness right now. Ricky Paulding's too good a shooter to miss that badly.
Diener, he's a great shooter. Has it taken away. McKinney on the break. And knocked out of bounds by a trailing Saunders.
We take a look there. Ricky Paulding and Ricky Clemens in particular. Ricky Clemens having a horrible shooting night. A lot of it is because he's forcing it, not allowing the game to come to him. It's as though when he touches it, he feels he's got to shoot it. Paulding, on the other hand, has had his moments, but recently just making mistake after mistake, and there you go again.
Diener with the steal, coast to coast, Travis Diener. Great anticipation by Travis Diener.
I mean, that guy is everywhere. Everywhere.
He has 7 points.
And again, switching man-to-man, looks like a zone, matching up.
Paulding up top. And he's fouled behind the three-point line. Ricky Paulding fouled by Travis Diener on the elbow.
And Diener admits that, and Marquette had this problem Thursday against Holy Cross, fouling the three-point shooter. But here, not recognizing the defense, the easy thing to do is to raise up and shoot a jump shot. And right there, you see the look. Diener got him on the elbow. That's why Clemens missed that one, which is in front of the rim so badly.
Ricky Paulding, an 80% free throw shooter. And he misses that one to the left. Tuesday on CBS, joined superstar Celine Dion for a spectacular all-new live special. Justin Timberlake hosts Celine in Las Vegas. Opening night live Tuesday on CBS, America's most watched network. Paulding gets the second of 3. Trevon Bryant comes back in, and Kevin Young heads to the bench. Third free throw is good. Paulding is the first player in the game to get to double figures. He has 11. 3-point lead for Marquette. Sanders faces. Diener hits the deck. Sanders, 16-footer. Got it.
Well, again, Terry Sanders, we mentioned before, his substitution for Scott Merritt was primarily for defensive purposes, but he's getting himself involved right now.
Paulding down the lane, misses the layup, loose ball picked up by Kroenke. McKinney frees himself with the ball fake, way off the mark, and a foul inside. Missouri just not shooting the ball well. No, 9 of 25.
And they're not, because again, they need to go inside out.
3:38 to go in the first. Back after this. Coming up at halftime, Greg and Clark will have scores and highlights, plus a look in at the UConn-Stanford game. Gus Johnson, Len Elmore, 31-26. Marquette, what do you think of this first half?
Well, I think Marquette is playing the type of game they want. They want to make it scrappy. Travis Diener's all over the place, and now they're starting to establish a little inside game with Robert Jackson.
Robert from Milwaukee, transferred from Mississippi State. Marquette has played some great defense in the first half, and they shot it well. Also, 57% shooting for Marquette, and they now have their largest lead of the game, 34-26 over Missouri.
And this has been a game where, by contrast to Thursday, where Missouri turned it over 23 times, they're doing pretty well with only 6 turnovers. But Thursday they shot 54%. Today they're only shooting 35%. So they can't put the ball in the basket even though they take care of it.
Offensive foul called on Jimmy McKinney. His first. And the winner here plays the winner of Indiana-Pittsburgh in Minneapolis. The Midwest Regional. There's Quinn Snyder. That hair starting to get a little ruffled now.
Well, he's got to be concerned right now. Marquette, they've established their perimeter game with Diener, and now Jackson is starting to come on. Ball goes inside to him. He takes the double now and kicks it back out for an easy jump shot. So they not only have the perimeter game going, they got a little inside-out action going.
Wade swings it, looks down low, out of bounds.
And boy, Wade gave a steely-eyed glare to Todd Townsend. After he drove, Townsend's got to get his hands up on that pass. He keeps looking over at him. So come on, man, you got to be ready for that.
Wade with 4 points. Now Arthur Johnson, they've gone away from him. Johnson pivots, fires off the mark. Wade with the rebound.
Another good defensive trip. Johnson could not get into that paint. It's difficult for him to raise up on that jump shot.
And if Clemens and McKinney don't hit some perimeter shots, as Wade does there, it's going to be hard to get the ball to Arthur Johnson. Timeout, Missouri.
Right on the money.
Marquette with its largest lead, 10 points. And the Golden Eagles out of Conference USA. They won the regular season title. And let's take a look at some of their conference mates. Cincinnati losing to Gonzaga. Louisville defeated Austin Peay, and a surprising loss for me, Memphis getting blown out by Arizona State. I thought Memphis would go a little further.
So did they, I'm sure.
Let's see if Missouri can get some kind of production from their backcourt of Clemens and McKinney. They are combined 1 of 9. Clemens 0 for 5. Now Paulding in the corner. Clemens finally gets one to fall.
And they did it off of teamwork, penetrate and kick, instead of trying to make it on a one-on-one move.
36-28 and a whistle. Looks like a foul coming up against Marquette. Robert Jackson called for a foul. Tom Green says, what did he do?
Well, right here, he sets the screen, and then he moves very quickly, trying to slip the screen. Didn't get there in time, didn't get set, and certainly didn't allow Ricky Paulding time to change direction. And you never get an illegal screen unless there's contact, and Jackson made contact ever so slightly.
Paulding for 3. Got it. Ricky Paulding with 14 points. Missouri closes to within 5.
I think Quinn Snyder took that amber light off and put on the green for Ricky Paulding.
Merritt back in, along with Joe Chapman. Wade down the lane, the kick, Chapman got a good look and hits. This kid hit a couple of big shots in their first round win.
Yeah, primarily a defensive player, but you give him that open look. And Dwayne Wade did a nice job of setting that. He knew exactly what he wanted to do with it when he went to the paint.
Paulding fades away. Arthur Johnson there, but a foul called on Dwayne Wade. Wade going over the back of Arthur Johnson.
It's quite the battle on the weak side of that glass. Arthur Johnson just commanding supreme attention from the white shirts of Marquette.
Marquette over the limit. So Arthur Johnson will go to the line and shoot free throws. Travis Diener returns for the final 27 seconds of the first half. First one up, and he misses the front end. Wade with the rebound. Shot clock turned off. Game clock reads 21. Here's Diener.
Here's a time when you know a team's holding for the last shot. This is where you want to gamble a little bit, at least until about 10 left. Now you got to play good, strong, solid half court.
Wade backs it up, wants to go one-on-one, spins, backs it up again, pivots, fires, and he was fouled. Yes, he was. Right on the elbow on the release.
See, what I was referring to was with about 27 seconds left, and you get in half court, you know the other team's holding for a last shot. Shake them up a little bit. But here in the last 10 seconds, and you see the shot clock just running down, Wade shoots a fadeaway, and you can't foul a guy shooting a fadeaway. Low percentage shot. Get a hand up and hope that he misses.
6 points for Dwayne Wade, make it 7. Wade scoreless in the first half of their first round game versus Holy Cross. Took 3 shots, 0 for 3. Second one good. And that is the end of the half as Marquette trots into the locker room with a 10-point lead. They shoot 63% from the field in the first half.
Well, Dwayne Wade came to play in the first half of this game, unlike Holy Cross.
Now let's go to Solomon Wilcox, standing by with Tom Green.
Coach, at 10:30 this morning, you had your team on the floor working on that matchup zone. How much did it pay off for you in the first half?
Well, I think it did. You know, we want to do a good job defensively with our zone, and we know we've got to attack a zone. And we just work through this foul trouble a little bit and keep getting good shots. You know, I like our chances.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you, Gus.
All right, that's the end of the first half. The score, 41-31. Marquette. We'll send you to Greg Gumbel in New York after these messages and a word from your local station. (41-31). Marquette with the lead at halftime. Gus Johnson along with Len Elmore. Sterling performance by Marquette on both ends of the floor. But when you look at what Mizzou has done, they shot 54% on Thursday, only 37% in the first half here.
And one of the reasons is they haven't been able to go inside and get it to Big Arthur Johnson, whereas Marquette's formula for success has been inside out, penetrating kick, finding open shooters. As far as the three-point shot, Marquette judicious in the use of the three. Missouri, too much reliance on it. And points in the paint, Scott Merritt got off early. Robert Jackson, very complete down low. And Diener and Wade have done a great job of getting the ball in there.
And moments ago, Solomon Wilcox caught up with Quinn Snyder.
The matchup zone by Marquette caused some problems in your half-court sets. What adjustments did you make at halftime?
Well, we stood a little bit. They've done a good job of playing on top of AJ and playing behind him, and we've got to figure out a way to throw the ball to the post from on top of the floor and get a little more movement.
Quinn, thanks for stopping by.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look at one interesting statistic. Ricky Paulding having a really good first half, but Ricky Clemens, Jimmy McKinney are combined 2 for 10.
Well, the reason is, again, they've got to continue to play inside out. Ricky Paulding capable of creating for himself off the bounce. Clemens and McKinney, though, need some help.
And a steal. Trayvon Bryant stepping in the passing lane. Now McKinney. Clemens takes the shot. Paulding with the rebound and jam. Holy mackerel. Ricky Paulding caught it and flushed it. And that has flustered the Golden Eagles. They throw it away.
They're still remembering the highlight of this one. Again, reverberation. Ricky Paulding, no block out. Clear with the slam, the tip dunk.
Now a trap by the Golden Eagles, and McKinney travels in the backcourt.
And Jimmy McKinney getting very upset with his teammates not being in position where he can pass to him. But as a young point guard, he's going to have to learn. Don't let them see you sweat.
McKinney and Clemens arguing a little bit on the floor. It's their responsibility to bring it up the court, and a foul called. Offensive foul against Wade.
I'll tell you, that's the second play Trayvon Bryant has made. He made a steal on the last Marquette possession. And now, again, he does a nice job of running into that screen, that moving screen.
Wade picks up his second foul.
You know, Bryant does a lot of little things that go unnoticed. But he certainly helps his team's cause, and what they need are more possessions.
Hands wanted to travel. Well, McKinney inside. Arthur Johnson spins to the basket. No, snatched down by Dwayne Wade. Here come the Golden Eagles.
If Arthur Johnson could have used his left, he'd have been successful.
Nice look. Jackson has it rejected by Paulding, but he's fouled.
Robert Jackson. He's a guy, again, that Marquette would love to get started inside the post. Put a lot of pressure on the big people of Missouri. Very quiet in the first half.
Jackson with 4 points in the first half. Make it 5 now. 42-33 Sunday on 60 Minutes. Americans in uniform. As soldiers? No, as cops. Getting ready to do battle with terrorists. Sunday on 60 Minutes after basketball.
You know, Jackson 1 for 5 from the field. Just started to get it going towards the end of that first half. And his team recognizes how important it is for him just to get some touches inside. There's the pressure again.
Marquette a perfect 8 of 8 from the free throw line. Now Clemens with the step, the floater. Lost it, gets it back, missed the second one. Bryant inside, no. Johnson finally tips it up and in.
And that's the strength of Missouri. Big burly bodies inside battling you. And they've got to be able to continue to attack that offensive glass. They're not going to get it inside in the post. Get both of those guys on the glass, and they're just manhandling Marquette. Haven't been able to put it down as often as they'd like, though.
Wade forces one up. Johnson with the rebound. Here come the Tigers. Paulding to the basket.
Again,
out of control.
If you use the left hand, you make that one.
Wade the other way. He uses the right hand and banks it home. Marquette goes up by 10. Wade has 10.
For all the young people at home, 2 examples. Arthur Bryant's drive to the basket on the left side. Ricky Paulding's drive. If you use your left hand, you're going to make those.
Clemens to the basket. Used the left hand just off the mark. Went right by Diener. Now Diener lost it. Out of bounds. We'll stay right here.
The combination of Travis Diener and Dwayne Wade on that fast break situation. The best part about that was Diener looked up the floor.
Todd Townsend inbounding it. Dwayne Wade, pump fake, dribble drive, wraps it around, knocked out of bounds.
You know, talk about Diener looking up the floor. There's always a tendency when you have the ball to dribble with your head down. You look up the floor, you're going to find cutters.
Inside Jackson. Strong. Dumps it. Wade. He's fouled. And the winner of this game will advance to Minneapolis to play the winner of Indiana-Pittsburgh. That should be a good one. Mike Davis's Hoosiers coming back to defeat Alabama yesterday. And look at the free throw shootings. First one good for Wade this week. Catch the Emmy Award-winning Late Show with Dave Letterman. The biggest stars, the biggest laughs, and the biggest events are all on Dave. The Late Show with David Letterman right here on CBS, America's most watched network. Wade doing it all for Marquette. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. 47-35. Paulding in the corner. Got it. Ricky Paulding trying to keep Missouri in this game. Paulding with 19 points. He has 4 threes on 7 attempts. Now Diener. Merritt down the lane on the hop. Wheels and hits. Scott Merritt.
And that demonstrates Merritt's versatility, ability to get out on the floor, take Arthur Johnson out where he's not accustomed to guarding and put it down.
Paulding again, and he drains it from downtown. 5 threes for Ricky Paulding. 8-point lead for Marquette. Paulding, 5 of 8. The rest of the team 1 for 10. Wade the step back jump shot. And it goes out of bounds. Ricky Paulding trying to will his team back into this game.
Well, that time Todd Townsend tried to save the ball in bounds and call a timeout. He wasn't allowed the timeout because he stepped on the line.
Here comes McKinney. Taxis into the front court. Johnson, Kroenke, Paulding, Bryant. And the ball, what do we have? A foul. Merritt pushing on Arthur Johnson.
Well, that's how he's been getting him off the lane. Keeps pushing him and pushing him out. That time called for it. But it's a pretty good strategy. Second foul on Scott Merritt.
Trayvon Bryant, left hand jump shot on the baseline, short. Diener with the rebound. Diener down the lane. Looked like he traveled. Wade, no. Jackson, no. Johnson with the rebound. He's fouled. Ricky Paulding has been the catalyst for Missouri in the second half.
Well, Ricky Paulding is the one guy who's got the athleticism to compete on the boards and create on the perimeter. He's the guy, as I mentioned before, that's got the capability of beating people off the dribble. And that's a valuable thing for Missouri because their other guards are just standstill jump shooters. Jimmy McKinney, not really an offensive player per se.
And another foul. Missouri starting to attack this Marquette defense. 15:53 to go. Golden Eagles up by 8. (49-41). Marquette with the lead over Missouri. 15:53 to go here in the second half. It's Johnson along with Glenn Elmore. A 3 versus a 6. Both teams trying to advance to Minneapolis. Marquette has led in this game by as many as 10 points. But you can see that things are shifting a bit. Missouri is really attacking this Marquette defense.
Well, they're starting to use their athleticism. They're starting to gain confidence, particularly in the fact that Missouri is hitting that offensive glass. And it's always easier for a shooter when you know when you shoot, your guys are going to get you a second and third opportunity if you miss.
Second 3 of the game for Kroenke. Let's see if Marquette tightens up a little bit here. As here come the Tigers. Diener. Inside Merritt on Johnson. Across the lane. And he gets the bounce.
Scott Merritt much quicker than Arthur Johnson. The best way to beat Johnson's strength is to get his feet moving and then use his weight against him.
Merritt 5 for 6 from the field, has 10 points. A blocking foul called against Missouri.
And look at Merritt once again, bouncing, gets head and shoulders past Johnson. Nothing Johnson can do about it. Again, it's about quickness. It's about Johnson moving his feet quicker than he has to take the path away.
Trayvon Bryant called for the offensive foul, his third. 51-44. Diener's been quiet offensively.
And again, Missouri really extending their defense right now, even off the screens. Johnson's out there to help.
Merritt has it batted out of bounds. .54 to go. Marquette with a 51-44 lead over Missouri. A 3 versus a 6. Todd Townsend ready to inbound the ball, and Tom Crean continues to pace the sideline.
And he should be concerned because Missouri now is starting to assert themselves. We talked about them asserting themselves on the offensive glass, but also on the offensive end, the athleticism, particularly by Ricky Paulding, is starting to have an effect, a positive effect from Missouri.
Townsend off the back rim, rebounded by Johnson.
And now the big fellas are coming and beginning to dominate both glasses.
10 rebounds for Arthur Johnson. Here's Bryant for 3. Way out of his range.
And there's nobody on the board offensively for Missouri, which has been one of the successes in making this a ball game.
I stand corrected. Trayvon Bryant has hit 18 threes on the year, 18 of 47. And a foul, Diener.
So that doesn't make it a good shot.
All right, well, thank you for helping me out there, partner. Ryan's so good around the basket, and he'll come out of the game now after taking that ill-advised three-pointer. Kevin Young comes in, as well as Ricky Clemens. And there's Coach Snyder having a conversation. Two of his young players. Ryan 0 for 5 from the field. Diener. Wade. No room for Novak to shoot that three-pointer today. Wade on the baseline and hits. Over Ricky Paulding.
You said it before, Dwayne Wade has now put together 2 good halves, keeping his team out in front.
Tigers almost threw it away. And a foul. Grimm guarding Arthur Johnson, pushing him. And that's his second. Paulding on the baseline. Clemens for 3. And he's shooting his team out of the game. An air ball by Ricky Clemens. And Wade answers. 13:20 to go in the second half. 55-44, Marquette with the lead over Missouri.
Well, this has been a game where Marquette had a 10-point lead at halftime, and it appeared as though Missouri was going to make a run. They were getting the ball inside, hitting the offensive glass, playing inside out, using their athleticism, and suddenly they stall because of ill-timed jump shots, particularly by Ricky Clemens. They forgot what it took them to cut into this lead, and Marquette capitalized on the other end.
Ricky Paulding straight away. Got it! Ricky Paulding single-handedly has kept this Missouri team in the game. He has 25 points.
And that's one of the things that's gotten him back. Ricky Paulding's athleticism, ability to create off the bounce.
The winner here plays the winner of Indiana-Pittsburgh in Minneapolis. Dwayne Wade with 14 points. Shake and bake on Paulding. Long rebound picked up by Arthur Johnson. Let's see if the Tigers wise up and get it to the man that has been leading them thus far. Paulding again. He's got that feeling. Ricky Paulding out of Detroit, Michigan. 55-50. Marquette.
That's right, Gus. Get your boys. Detroit, stand up, clap your hands.
Renaissance High School. Now Diener. Wade can play a little bit too. Nice ball fake. Got his man in the air but can't get it to fall. Arthur Johnson with his 11th rebound.
And that's the key thing. It's been 1 and out for Marquette because of Johnson's ability on the board. And now Paulding heating up.
Clemens almost throwing it away. Inside Johnson. Nice touch. 55-52. Marquette tightening up a little bit, and they want to talk about it. Here come the Tigers. 11:37 to go in the second half. We have a 3-point game. 55-52 Marquette. They've led by as many as 10, but Ricky Paulding single-handedly has reeled in the Golden Eagles.
Well, Ricky Paulding has been the light beyond the arc from 3, while the rest of Missouri is shooting 2 of 13, including 0 for 7 by Ricky Clemens. Ricky Paulding is 7 for 10 from 3, getting it going. He's put it on the floor, gotten to the basket, and what that's done now is stretch Marquette's defense and allow them to drop a couple down to Arthur Johnson inside. So now they've got that inside-out combination going, and they're making Marquette have to go crazy and trying to find the key and adjusting.
Paulding with 4 threes in the last 5.5 minutes. 55-52. The last time Missouri led this game, it was 8-4 in the first half. So Marquette has done a good job holding on to the lead. Wade across the lane. The kick, Diener, catch. Off the front rim, no tap, bounces out. Snatched down by Arthur Johnson. Now Clemens. Head was down, he had Paulding on the wing.
What Ricky Clemens has to do now, no, he's not having a good shooting night, but he's got to be able to contribute in other ways. Get out of the way, get the ball to the guys who can get something done. Like Travis Diener from Marquette, his fellas understand he can get it done.
And that's the first basket for Diener this half, 58-52. Here's Paulding on the wing to Johnson. Johnson backs up on Jackson. The up and under, no. Loose. Who wants it? And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Marquette. 10:16 to play. 58-52. Marquette. Marquette by 6 with 9:29 to go, and Ricky Paulding has hurt his wrist. He was holding his wrist after receiving a blow to the wrist on their last possession down court.
And boy, it couldn't have come at a worse time for Missouri, just when Ricky Paulding was heating up, really leading them back into this ball game. He's got 28 points.
Clemens comes back into the game. Wade inside, wraps it around for Jackson. Diener. Jackson, no call. Diener straight away. Off the glass and in. How about that?
It doesn't matter. He'll find a way to put it in. Again, good ball movement inside out. That's the formula.
Marquette back up by 9. And let's take a look at what happened to Ricky Paulding. His left wrist, and he just basically shoved it into Robert Jackson.
Robert Jackson, big wide body. He's usually going to win the majority of those collisions.
Paulding a career high 28. Jackson has 4 fouls now. So somebody else has to step up. Here's Arthur Johnson, the baby hook inside. 63-56.
That was one of the few times Johnson's be able to take Merritt and step him into the paint. Most of the time, Merritt's been able to push him off the lane and make it more difficult for him.
Wade, the turnaround, batted out to Diener. Got it, and the foul. Travis Diener. As Bill Raftery loves to say, onions. This kid is tough.
Well, I'll say he's tough. Again, the ability to get it back outside and just set up for a straight jump shot in the right place at the right time. Another look, tap back outside, and the setup, and there's just a little bit of contact. McKinney has got to realize you cannot block the jump shooting shot. Bother him.
4th foul on McKinney. Diener has the free throw, and Marquette goes up by 10, matching their largest lead of the game. Kroenke the other way, off the glass, no. But he's fouled.
Again, we talked about Kroenke, a guy who eats minutes, does good things when he's out there.
Here's a look at the game summary. 54% shooting for Marquette. And the three-point shooting good for Missouri, 9 of 23. The Golden Eagles perfect from the free throw line, 10 of 10.
Kroenke maintaining the aggressive posture Missouri's taking and going to the basket.
Second free throw good. Missouri trying to make a comeback with their top player injured on the bench as Diener is tripped up in the backcourt by Clemens. Paulding back on the floor. They tape the wrist up, and he's been bothered by a tender wrist all season. He was out for about 1 minute and 7 seconds. Now Diener. Pull-up jump shot. Got it again. Travis Diener.
I'll tell you what happened on the screen. It slowed down Ricky Clemens, who was trying to stick to Diener. Clemens turns his head, and Diener just finds the open spot.
Trayvon Bryant. Kroenke. He hits. Josh Kroenke having the best game of his postseason life, 11 points. (69-61) Marquette leads Missouri. Here's Travis Diener. Merritt spinning, leans in, and a traveling violation called on Scott Merritt. 7:31 to go. Marquette holding on to an 8-point lead. And let's check out the CBS Sportsline stat of the game. Field goal percentage, Marquette shooting a very high percentage of 55%. Get complete tournament stats at CBSSportsline.com. On America Online, enter keyword CBS Sportsline. 7:23 remaining. Ricky Paulding around the screen. Clemens in the corner, and he gets one to go.
Well, that should go a long way in developing Ricky Clemens' confidence. He's had a tough day, 1 for 8 from 3. And it also should energize him on the defensive end. He's now in the basketball game.
Here's Diener. Wade spins baseline, reverse layup, got it. Dwayne Wade, 18 points, 71-64 Marquette. Kroenke sets up and hits. Kroenke having an outstanding game, 13 points. Make that 14. 71-67.
And now you see Trayvon Bryant step up and communicate that the pick was there. The last time that happened, Bryant didn't. Diener had an open shot. This time, excellent defense because of the communication.
.609 to go in the second half, 71-67. Marquette has led by 10 twice, but Missouri refuses to go away. Ricky Paulding stripped. Now Diener jump stop off the break and hits a 3. This kid is shooting the lights out here in Indianapolis.
In our first game with Notre Dame and Illinois, we had a chance to see Dan Miller in the zone. And I think he left that zone out there, and Travis Diener has fit in there very nicely.
And a whistle and foul.
And how's this for getting involved in the game? In the first half, Travis Diener only had 5 shots from the field, 3 for 5. In the second half, I believe he's 8 for 11 from 3. And he's absolutely, in the last several minutes, really lit it up.
As a matter of fact, he scored 15 points in the last 5 minutes and 15 seconds. He now has 22. Arthur Johnson at the line.
How's that for picking your spots?
Oh, my goodness. And you always talk about letting the game come to you, not forcing things, because eventually it will.
Absolutely, and you get your opportunities. You have to be ready, but Diener has been finding people. He's been creating for other folks, really getting involved, and then when the defense adjusts off of him, then he takes his role and his turn in the spotlight.
5-point lead for the Golden Eagles. Merritt to the basket. Partially blocked, but he got it to go.
You got to go out and get him. Johnson and Bryant did not want to step up and play the defense. Get him in too deep. Merritt's going to hurt you.
He's 6 of 7, 14 points. Scott Merritt. Arthur Johnson, the jump hook on the baseline. Gets his own rebound. Count it, and the foul.
Big fella would not be denied.
19 points, 14 rebounds.
And that's the importance of going to the basket. Nice jump hook, didn't fade away, and his momentum carried him to the basket to get that offensive foul.
76-70. Johnson adds the free throw. Arthur Johnson, 4 of 6 from the free throw line today. 76-71. Missouri gets back into a 2-3 zone. A lot of room in the middle of that zone. Novak foul.
Well, you know, you work so hard on one end. We saw Johnson with his offensive rebound. But on the other end, you don't allow guys to get you off your feet. Even a guy who shoots as well from the three as Steve Novak. You're not going to block the shots from out there. Novak's 6'10". I mean, we've been harping on that all afternoon in both games that we've done. But I'm just amazed to see how many guys go for fakes beyond the arc instead of just coming out there extending themselves and forcing the shooter to shoot over their hands.
Novak, a 93% free throw shooter. And he gets it there. Don't forget, the winner of this game will take on the winner of Indiana-Pittsburgh in Minneapolis next week. Ricky Paulding rises, foul from behind. I believe Scott Merritt got him. And that's the third foul on Scott. Ricky Paulding with a career day. 28 points. He's 7 of 10 from the three-point line. You can follow each game of the NCAA tournament on the internet. For more information on how you can watch March Madness, catch your madness from your computer, just go to ncaasports.com. Paulding with 30. 5-point lead for Marquette. Missouri able to score, but they just can't come up with stops on the other end.
And fundamentally, that is the key to advancing. You got to string some stops together if you're coming back.
Rejected. Arthur Johnson getting up high.
That's a start. Weak side help. Nice job by Johnson moving his feet.
Wade down the lane. Short. Snatched by the freshman Kevin Young. Missouri can make up some ground on this trip. Paulding for three. And the rebound goes to Novak.
I think that time they gave up on Arthur Johnson too quickly. Ricky Paulding, I guess, feeling it, decided he was better off shooting it instead of moving the ball to get Johnson in position because he had an opportunity to get open.
Marquette has led by as many as 10 twice, but Missouri continues to fight, down by 5. Ricky Paulding to Kroenke, who's hot. Arthur Johnson, a rebound and stick back. And we have a three-point game in the Midwest.
And that's why Missouri is coming back, because they've battled from that 10-point deficit at halftime. They've gotten on the offensive glass. They've gotten Ricky Paulding going from 3. And they're playing some pretty good defense in the last couple of possessions.
But every time Marquette has been asked a question this afternoon, they've had the answer. Here's Merritt. To Novak. Diener pulls up. Loose ball, Novak with the rebound. And a new shot clock for the Golden Eagles.
Boy, a costly breakdown by Missouri. Block out, but no effort to go after the loose ball.
.230 to go. The winner advances to the Sweet 16.
Look at the patience by Marquette. They're trying to find the best shot.
Here's Wade. An air ball. Good defensive stand by Missouri.
But actually, Wade was there. It was a good shot. He just short-armed it.
And Mizzou wants a timeout. 2:08 to play. 78-75. .208 to go in the second half. An eternity. And let's take a look at the reset. 3 timeouts for both teams. And Marquette over the limit with 10 team fouls. And we have some great games coming up for you later. Cal, who knocked off NC State. (78-75) Marquette with the lead. They've led by as many as 10 twice, but now Missouri is in striking distance.
And they've battled back because of their star Ricky Paulding and their big man inside, Arthur Johnson.
His 15th rebound. Too strong off the window.
They've been able to hit the offensive glass, get some looks at three, rely on Paulding's athleticism for some monster plays that we've had a chance to see. Marquette, on the other hand, has been methodical. Travis Diener has been the guy who's been at the point of their attack.
And a foul down low. Arthur Johnson trying to draw a charge. And don't forget, the winner here will take on the winner of Indiana-Pittsburgh in Minneapolis next week.
You know, we talk about Travis Diener, 8 for 12 from the field, including 5 for 8 from three-point range. So he's been the guy that has kept his team in front of Missouri, just barely, though, because on the other end, we talk about the strength inside. Arthur Johnson has absolutely been spectacular. And he hasn't gotten any help from his running partner, Trayvon Bryant.
Fouled out with no points. The foul not called on Arthur Johnson. Trayvon struggling. 0 for 6 from the field. 2 rebounds. Wednesday on CBS, Survivor is on a special night. And a surprise twist is about to blow the game wide open. Don't miss an exciting all-new Survivor on a special night. Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on CBS. America's most watched network.
Talk about Arthur Johnson and his spectacular play on the other end. 22 points, 17 rebounds thus far. And we mentioned, did not have any help from Trayvon Bryant, normally a guy who supports him very well in hitting the glass.
So Scott Merritt, an excellent free throw shooter, 78%. He has 14 points. And he misses the front end. Holy Toledo.
And you talk about the value of Josh Kroenke. We saw him a few moments ago hitting a couple of key threes. Now he's got to play on the front line instead of in the backcourt. So that versatility has paid off.
His teammates have to look for him. He has been stroking it from downtown, along with Paulding. Kroenke off the dribble. Arthur Johnson, 7 to shoot.
Look how far he is away from the basket, though.
Here's McKinney, extra pass. Paulding for the tie, and he got it. Under a minute to play.
Absolute terrific execution.
78 apiece. Paulding with 33. They're on their feet in Indy. Timeout Marquette. The NCAA tournament on CBS.
We'll take a look here at that execution in the half court. Paulding's just going to drift to the corner and watch the movement around the horn to find him. Diagonal pass. There's Paulding going to the corner, and a screen by Kroenke. That created the situation where he gets an open look. Here's the movement, and right there, look at Kroenke set that screen on big Robert Jackson. Kept Jackson from going out and bothering Paulding on that jumper. We told you, Kroenke, a lot of the little things, that's how you win.
Here's Dwayne Wade looking for a shot. Inside, fires, and he gets it to go. Marquette reclaims the lead. Shot clock turned off. Timeout, Missouri.
You're a great mom. You're beautiful and you're smart and you work so hard.
Billy, would you like me to call your mom and see if you can stay for dinner?
If you insist.
Introducing the Cinemeal Deal. Any large Pizza Hut pizza, America's favorite, with up to 3 toppings, just $11.99. Plus a generous order of our new freshly baked cinnamon sticks absolutely free. The $11.99 Cinemeal Deal. Spoil your family, not your budget.
You're powerful, smart.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
At Pizza Hut.
in just a tremendous contest. Marquette up by 2. And again, it's all about Dwayne Wade, leading scorer in CUSA, Conference USA. And he just makes this happen all by his lonesome. That's what makes you the Conference Player of the Year, having that capability.
Wade had only 2 points the previous 13 minutes. Let's reset it for you. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Both teams over the limit. Shot clock turned off. Here comes McKinney. They'll look for Balding.
Now they're looking for Big Arthur. Now he creates.
And a whistle, a foul on the floor inside. And it's against Marquette. And if Arthur Johnson has to shoot, there are going to be some nervous Tiger fans in attendance. He's a 55% free throw shooter, 4 of 6 at the line today.
Well, again, Paulding posting up. He was the decoy. It got Johnson down on the block, and there's the reach-in by Wade. Actually, pretty good decision right there, because Johnson was moving with a full head of steam. Who knows if he would have taken Merritt in the basket as long as he took the ball in the basket.
So what's the strategy for Missouri? Johnson, if he makes it, obviously the game is tied, but if he misses?
If he misses, you got to go for the steal on any outlet pass, and then you got to foul. So they may even foul the rebounder off the miss.
So Johnson will shoot 2 free throws. Missouri in the double bonus. 22 points, 17 rebounds for Art. He's been working all year on his free throw shooting. And the first one is good.
And take a look under the basket, and the 2 rebounding positions for Marquette are guys who shoot the free throws very well. Merritt 77%, Wade 78% from the line. So they're likely to get the rebounds. You may have to foul them right away.
Here's a second for Johnson. Got it! And we're tied at 80. 19.7 to go. Here's the reset. 19.7 to go. Each team with 2 timeouts. Both teams over the limit. The possession arrow favors Missouri. What's the strategy for both squads?
Well, right now, if I'm Missouri, obviously you have to play solid defense. It looks as though they're going to pick up full court, but I personally wouldn't do that. Travis Diener has found a way to weave through defenses, get a head of steam going, and now they drop back to half court as they should. Interestingly enough, Jimmy McKinney at 6'3" on Diener right now to try to prevent him from getting off that 3.
Here's Diener down the lane. No way. The lean in off the heel. Paulding with the rebound. Takes a look at the clock. Paulding rises, fires. Johnson with the rebound, and we're headed for overtime. We are headed for overtime in Indy.
Terrific defense by Missouri, but I said that Travis Diener would get into that paint with a head of steam. On the circle, there's Wade with a good look. And then on the push, Paulding had it lined up. He just short-armed it. And that's why we're in OT, baby.
We're tied at the end of regulation, 80 apiece, coming up overtime. And welcome back, Missouri. Marquette tied at 80 apiece. As we head into overtime, Marquette 0-1 in overtime games this season. Their loss coming to Dayton, and this is the first overtime game of the year for Quinn Snyder and his Tigers from Mizzou.
Well, if you're Quinn Snyder, you're pleased that your team now has some momentum. They fought back from a 10-point deficit. They did it with defense. They did it with power inside. They did it with their star player, Ricky Paulding, on top of his game. If you're Marquette, you just got to remember what got you that 10-point lead. It was patience. It was penetration by Diener. It was teamwork, movement of the ball, finding open shooters.
Wade and Johnson in the circle, and the tap is controlled by Marquette. Diener, Merritt, Novak, Wade, and Townsend on the court for the Golden Eagles. Wade in the corner, Novak, rise and fire, and rips.
And Novak had no problem shooting over the shorter Ricky Clemens. Novak 6'10", Ricky Clemens 5'11". No contest.
Johnson calling for the ball. Clemens. Cross court, McKinney pulls up. He gets one to go.
Boy, both teams really playing it as well as they can, particularly from the patience standpoint.
Back after this. Welcome back. Marquette with an 88-85 lead over Missouri. This game was tied at 80 in overtime. Missouri down by 10 twice, but managed to rally in the second half. Arthur Johnson has been a man tonight as he gets the first one to go. Johnson 7 of 9 at the line, including 2 free throws with 19 seconds left.
And what Missouri has done is they've decided that they're going to go to their strength, find Arthur Johnson either by straight entry pass or by penetration, but he's got to get touches because he's the difference maker, and he makes Marquette have to adjust to him.
28 points, 18 rebounds for Arthur Johnson. Missouri gets back into the 2-3 zone. The winner here advances to the Sweet 16. Wade across the lane, down at Dwayne Wade with 20.
And Wade was able to get into the heart of that defense because Steve Novak had been successful with a couple of threes, and that stretched the defense.
Clemens to the basket, reverse layup, no, tapped up and in by the freshman Kevin Young. 90-89.
Once again, it's the inside play of Missouri. That's where their advantage is.
Diener's been quiet offensively. Novak turns and drills another one. 3 threes.
And did you see the look on Kevin Young's face at 7 feet? Even he couldn't bother Novak. And he was resigned with a look of frustration.
Novak 4 for 4 from the three-point line in the game. 3 for 3 in overtime. All knocked out of bounds. Steve Novak, only a freshman.
And again, the movement of the ball, look at the 7-footer right in his face.
1:45 to go. 93-89 Marquette. This game tied at 80 at the end of regulation, but Steve Novak has taken over for the Golden Eagles.
Well, he's been found off of penetration. There he is at the 5'11 Clemens trying to bother him. Now you get Kroenke at 6'4 trying to present a challenge. But Steve Novak, actually his third three-pointer, he scored over the 7-footer Kevin Young, so it doesn't seem like anybody on the floor can stop him.
Marquette 5 for 5 from the field in overtime. Balding, top of the key, Clemens. Loose ball rebounded by Wade. And Clemens continues to take his shots despite being 2 of 14, 1 of 9 from the three-point line.
But when you get open looks like that, it doesn't matter if you haven't hit one all day. You have to take them.
You're absolutely right. 1:17 to go in the first overtime. Marquette running a weave. Diener inside. Merritt off the glass and in.
And that's what I mean by Travis Diener. He's going to find people. He's going to find a way through your defense.
Balding for 3. Short. Diener with the rebound. Marquette. Their level of play rising in overtime. 6 for 6 from the field.
That's how Missouri went to the 3 too soon. You know, there was still enough time, a little less than a minute, to go for the quick 2, go into Johnson. Balding wound up taking a shot 6 feet beyond the three-point arc.
Travis Diener goes to the line. An 83% free throw shooter. He's 1 for 1 today. And the second, it's good. 97-89. Each second that ticks away like gold dust for this Marquette squad. Clemens again rims out. Marquette has scored on all 7 possessions in overtime, and it looks like they're going to head to Minnesota. 34.8 to go.
And if you're looking for reasons, it was Missouri's inability to find Steve Novak beyond the three-point arc. 3 big threes in overtime vaulted Marquette out to this lead. And you just can't say enough for the freshman. Ice water in his veins.
And our Chevrolet most valuable players of the game. Ricky Paulding from Missouri, a career high, and Steve Novak. 4 for 4 from the three-point line. 3 for 3 from the line in overtime when it counted most. Shot clock turned off. McKinney. Paulding. Travis. And that will do it. Quinn Snyder telling his squad to back up, no fouls.
Talk about being perfect in overtime. Marquette 3 for 3 within the arc, 3 for 3 beyond the three-point arc, and 4 for 4 from the free throw line. You can't play overtime any better than that.
So the bracket in the Midwest, we are going to advance Marquette. With a win over Missouri, they await the winner of the Hoosiers and the Panthers in Boston. All smiles on the bench for the Golden Eagles. Diener continues to hit free throws. Second one up and in. 101-89. Marquette with 21 points in overtime. Paulding for 3. Got it. But not enough for this Missouri squad as they back off. Merritt pulls it out. Novak, the hero in overtime. 5 seconds to go. The Golden Eagles will head for Minneapolis. They defeat Missouri 101-92 and advance to the Sweet 16.